So on April 3rd, Brunei, a country that Canada recently signed up to do a trade deal with the CPTPP, has just announced that they're going to be stoning homosexuals and also adulterers if they are found guilty of the crime. And I have seen absolutely nothing from Chrystia Freeland about this on Twitter. She's condemning white supremacy and Islamophobia around the world as a grave threat, but she's saying absolutely nothing about Brunei, a little tiny country that has very little power whatsoever, that we do very little trade with. I looked up the amount of trade we're doing with it, but it's in the millions, back and forth with import and export. It's not like we would even lose a lot of money if we were to alienate these people, but nothing, not not a squeak, absolutely nothing. It's like what she's gonna call out the New Zealand attack. They're gonna use this for weeks and months and years on end to increase the government, to demonize white people, to shame white people. They're gonna keep using this, but Brunei can stone homosexuals and people who cheat on their spouses like it's not a problem. What what happened to Trudeau's feminist foreign policy? Wasn't he supposed to like only trade with countries if they're going to treat like gays and women right? Uh, what about this? Why is he completely silent about this? Well, it's because he doesn't want to alienate his Muslim buddies. And he doesn't want to condemn his Muslim buddies. And same with Chrystia Freeland. But they want to condemn, they'll condemn the New Zealand shooter and try to blame all white people like she did on Thursday at her speech in the UN. I'll probably read that, but it's just amazing, the complete double standard, how there's all these countries, these Islamic countries with these oppressive laws that kill atheists, that kill gay people, stone them, cut off their heads. But the global problem is the rise of white nationalism, which is just populism to them. It's just the rise of populism. That's what they're afraid of. That's what they don't want. They don't want people taking control of their countries. They don't want them to take back control of it. They don't want nationalism. They want globalism. But I'll read some of the speech that she said during her UN visit. We cannot hide behind euphemisms that distract from the truth. White supremacism and Islamophobia are among the gravest threats facing the world. Neo-Nazis, white supremacists, incels, nativists, and radical anti-globalists who resort to violent acts are a threat to the stability of my country and countries around the world. Like, really? These incels are a threat to the stability of countries around the world? Like, the violently? Like, are you fucking kidding me? There's been like a few incel things, events, and now this is a global problem. Way more people die from Islamic terrorism each and every day. Like, look up Mogadishu, right? I just saw something the other day where a bunch of people died. Like 20 people died from some car explosion because of Muslims, and and a lot of these Asian countries too, like Malaysia and whatnot. There's tons of terrorism in these countries because they have a lot of Muslims, and if we import more Muslims in our country, we're gonna have even more, and they do commit disproportionate amounts of terrorism. Right? They'll always compare. Like, look at, there was 3 white supremacist terrorist events in America and only 2 Muslims, but there's like way more white people and way less Muslims. So per capita, they're more of a threat. They're more likely to do it. And another thing is, a lot of the times, the people that they say are white supremacist or white nationalist, etc., are not. And now, if you're an incel, even if you're a left-wing incel, they're going to consider you a part of the right wing or whatnot. But it's just stupid. They're just trying to demonize a lot of stuff, and it's going to move over to more mundane, conservative principles eventually. They're going to just, anything that has to do with freedom, with reducing the government, is going to be demonized as white supremacy if it's not already. I'm pretty sure it already is. Then she goes on, these attacks need to be at the top of the global agenda during discussions on confronting global terrorism. And when such attacks do occur, the international community must not be afraid to condemn them specifically as racist acts of terrorism. That's why I love, too. These people, you can never get them to say Islamic terrorism. They will not say it. Then they will call this an attack, but they'll call the Islamic terrorism, they'll call them incidents or mishaps or something like that, or an accident, or some tragic event. But this is like, they'll clearly say it's an attack on Muslims by white supremacy, but they'll never correlate Islam with terrorism ever. They'll never do it, even though there is a direct correlation between the two, even though there are passages within Islam that directly correlate with the actions of terrorists, even though white supremacy or white nationalism and the things that they fear a lot of the times don't have specifically things within them that say, hey, go kill brown people, go kill this, go kill all these people. No, they're just adding all that stuff in there. So they're making all these loose connections between people, saying we need to condemn it, in plain words, but they never want to condemn Islam in plain words. And it's obvious. It's pretty obvious. Like they're working for these people, or they're working with them. They want them to come over and subvert our countries, to create division, to create no-go zones, to just increase. I think it's just so then they'll have more reason to have power. It's just divide and conquer at the end of the day. And one of the most divisive people are Muslims, and they've been trying to conquer Western countries for millennia, for like 1,000 years at least. So they're not going to stop. They're going to continue. And yeah, there's plenty of good Muslim people, but let's not get things twisted. A lot of these people want to come in and replace us, and they're going to do it through the womb, and we're not going to be able to compete with them. Don't listen to these fucking dumbass retards. Oh, we'll just have more babies. Just have more babies then. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. We'll never compete with having 8 fucking kids. For white people do not want to have 8 kids on welfare and getting money from the government, but these people will gladly fucking do it. So there's no way we're gonna keep up. So, but I'll keep reading. And when such attacks do occur, the international community must call them out. In the wake of acts of terrorism carried out by Muslims, Western countries often call upon Muslim countries and Muslim leaders to condemn those attacks in the name of their people and their faith. And this doesn't happen. When was the last time you've seen a Western country call on Saudi Arabia, call on Qatar, call on Iraq, Pakistan, any of these countries to condemn terrorism? When those girls got beheaded in Morocco and all those other people got killed, did we ask Morocco to condemn Islamic terrorism? No, we didn't. You won't find any fucking evidence of that. So she's making this shit up. She's blatantly fucking lying. But these people will always accuse you of what they do all the time. While hate is eternal, the way it spreads changes over time. So they want to make this. Yeah, I'm sure people will always hate and stuff, but the racism and a lot of these other things have largely diminished over the years, and these people need to invent things, invent microaggressions to keep up the fucking idea that you need to have them in your lives. You need to have us protecting you from these evil, hateful racist on the internet. And watch, she'll get into that. Then she's like, while hate, where is it? While he's eternal, this international community must keep a close watch on how hateful messages spread through online forums and social media. This work cannot be undertaken in isolation. Each of our countries will, of course, address this issue differently, but we need to recognize that this is ultimately an international problem, and we need to act collectively to address it. So we need to all collectively ban these people from the internet. The internet and social media know no borders, and so we must work together to find ways to address online radicalizations. Is that funny? How the only borders that they really care about, or they don't, they want the borders on the internet, but when it comes to on the internet, then oh no, it's a bad thing to have open borders and free exchange of ideas and people giving information back and forth and telling us about the no-go zones in Europe and the UK. No. We don't want that. We don't want that type of open border. We want the open border where Muslims and third worlders get imported into Western countries. Open borders only works one way. Okay, there's not a bunch of white people pouring in to the third world, to Muslim countries. There's not a lot of Muslims building churches in Muslim fucking countries. They wouldn't allow it, first of all. So, but white supremacy is the global threat. Oh my God, guys. I'm not saying that, there isn't a problem with some people getting out of control and, getting extreme and stuff, potentially on the right. That could happen. But that's not the threat that we're really facing. And they're trying to say that they're trying to make it seem like populism essentially is white nationalism. They're trying to say like Trump is white nationalism. All the people that support him are white nationalists. That's what they're trying to get to eventually. Each of our countries, the internet and social media knows no borders. As fellow members of the Commonwealth, Canada and New Zealand have a close relationship. We are more than friends. We are family. Canadians felt great compassion and real pain following the terrible attacks in Christchurch. And then she salutes the prime minister who wore a hijab to appease the Muslims and their country. But, you'd never see her wear a nun's outfit or anything like that. I was watching Julie Mora's channel, and she mentioned that and how Saudi Arabia had a big picture of the New Zealand prime minister with the hijab on and hugging a Muslim person, and to them it's probably like, yes, we're winning, we're taking over that country, it's only a matter of time, which they are. Didn't the EU make it like illegal to blaspheme Islam, so that's like a crime? And M103 in Canada, now we're not allowed to criticize Islam, and more and more and more. We're not going to be able to criticize immigration because that's going to be tied in with white supremacy and white supremacists. And they're trying their very best to censor us and silence us. But this should, give you a little bit of hope in a sense, to make you realize that they do fear us. They do fear the threat of just the internet, of social media, of Twitter. Really, like this is threatening them, right? That's how of a weak hold that they really do have on people, and that's why they're so adamant about censoring everything, because we are having an impact. I'm not saying like me, but specifically, I have a very small channel, but there's plenty of other people, and every little bit counts. If you have an audience of a few thousand people, 1,000, 1,000, and you're able to change 1,000 minds, that's a big deal. Then those 1,000 people, they have family members and friends that they could potentially change. And there you go. There's even more thousands of people who have also changed. And then they're connected to even more thousands of people. So we are having an impact. And that's why as many people need to speak up about this stuff right now as possible, while we still can, before they can censor everything, before they can convince everybody that it's okay for us to be replaced in our own fucking countries. And me saying this doesn't mean I'm promoting violence or anything like that. It's just saying what is happening. I got a comment the other day, and this guy's like, ha ha ha, you guys are going to be replaced soon, and Trump, he's going to be gone soon because of the demographics, you stupid white people. Like, you know, a lot of these people know what's happening too. And a lot of white people are just ignorant of the fact. They don't know what the hell is going on. I spoke to a guy at work the other day that I was working with, and I started talking to him about immigration. I started talking about a few things. And I even mentioned, I'm like, hey man, we're being fucking replaced. And he's a white guy. And he was completely receptive to what I was saying. And he's like, yeah, I know what you mean. I go into fucking Tim Hortons and I go into here, and he's like, I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm like, did you know Trudeau wants to increase immigration to 450,000? He's like, what? Are you serious? He's like, holy fuck. And I'm like, did you know this? Did you know this? Did you know this? And he's like, I was blowing his fucking mind. And you can do that too. You can convince one person, two people. It doesn't seem like a lot, but social media has given us this power, has a lot of bad things with it as well. It's a double-edged sword, but it gives us a voice. There's no more gatekeepers to prevent this information from getting out. And don't listen to Chrystia Freeland. It's not white nationalism, white supremacy, and all these things that are a threat. It's people like her that is a threat to you. It's people like Trudeau. It's people like the Prime Minister of New Zealand that are threats to you, that want to change your culture, that want to change your country, that want to give you less rights, less freedoms. They're the authoritarians. Wake the fuck up, people. Wake the fuck up to what is going on in your countries before it's too late. And we have time. We have time to turn things around. At least in some countries, maybe not all countries, but at least some countries, there is time. And me saying this does not mean I'm a white nationalist or anything like that. I don't mind a little bit of diversity. I don't mind some diversity. But when a country loses its majority population, then you're going to see chaos. You're going to see destruction. And especially when we lose white people as the majority. Like I said before, Brunei is going to be stoning women and homosexuals to death. Would this happen in a white country? Does this happen in any white countries? No, it doesn't. Are there the same rights in any other country but white countries? No, there isn't. Is there the same wealth? No, there isn't. If they are wealthy, it's because a lot of them, like Saudi Arabia, are wealthy because of us. Same with China, because they stole all of our shit. So guess what, people? If you're a minority, if you're a person of color, when we become the minority in our own countries, when we lose power and control of our own countries, the world is going to become a very, very, very dark place. And this isn't a threat. This is just reality. This is just the truth. You're going to regret trying to fucking replace us. You're going to regret promoting multiculturalism and all this bullshit division that is going to divide us. That, you know, you're going to regret it. I'm just telling you now, remember my words, because you will fucking regret it. But that's all I pretty much had to say about this. If you like my content, subscribe and have a good day. See ya.